What if everything you think you know about human evolution is incomplete? For decades, people have been told a simple story about where humans came from. The story usually begins millions of years ago, with early primates living in forests and trees. Over time, some of these primates began spending more time on the ground. Slowly, their bodies changed. They started walking on two legs. Their hands became free to use tools, and their brains began to grow larger. Eventually, after millions of years of change, modern humans appeared. This version of history sounds simple and clear. But modern scientific discoveries suggest that the real story of human evolution is far more complex than most people realize. Scientists once believed that human evolution followed a straight path, where one species slowly transformed into the next. In this version, early ancestors gradually evolved into a species known as Homo erectus. These early humans lived nearly 2 million years ago and were among the first to leave Africa and explore other parts of the world. Over time, they were eventually replaced by modern humans, known as Homo sapiens, the species that every human alive today belongs to. But as scientists discovered more fossils and began studying ancient DNA, this simple story started to break apart. Instead of a straight line, human evolution now looks more like a complicated tree with many branches. At different points in history, several different human species were alive at the same time. Some lived in Africa, others in Europe, and some in Asia. They evolved in different environments and developed different traits. One of the most famous of these species is Neanderthals. They lived in Europe and parts of Asia for hundreds of thousands of years. For a long time, people believed Neanderthals were primitive and unintelligent. Old images often show them as hunched-over cavemen with very little intelligence. But modern research has completely changed that view. Scientists discovered that Neanderthals made complex tools, controlled fire, and even buried their dead. Some archaeological discoveries suggest they may have created symbolic objects or early forms of art. These behaviors suggest that Neanderthals were far more intelligent and capable than people once believed. Then scientists made an even more surprising discovery. By studying ancient DNA, researchers found that many modern humans still carry small amounts of Neanderthal genetic material. This means that when early modern humans met Neanderthals thousands of years ago, they did not simply replace them. They interacted with them. They lived in the same regions for thousands of years, and in some cases, they even had children together. Today, traces of Neanderthal DNA can still be found in many people living outside Africa, but the surprises did not end there. In 2010, scientists studying a tiny fossil bone discovered something completely unexpected. The fossil came from a cave in Siberia and was only a small fragment of a finger bone. At first, researchers assumed it belonged to either a Neanderthal or a modern human. But when scientists analyzed its DNA, they realized it belonged to an entirely unknown human species. This mysterious group is now known as Denisovans. What makes this discovery even more remarkable is that scientists identified the species through genetic analysis before finding many physical fossils. In fact, most of what we know about Denisovans comes from DNA evidence rather than complete skeletons. Even more surprising, some modern human populations still carry Denisovan DNA today. People in parts of Asia and the Pacific Islands show genetic traces from these ancient humans. This means that at one point in history, at least 3 different human species were alive at the same time. Modern humans, Neanderthals, and Denisovans shared the planet, and sometimes even interacted with each other. Human evolution was not a clean replacement of one species by another. Instead, it was a complex mixture of migration, interaction, and adaptation. And another mystery of human evolution involves the human brain. Compared to most animals, the human brain is extremely large relative to our body size. This massive brain gives humans the ability to create language, imagine complex ideas, plan for the future, and build advanced societies. But scientists still debate why the human brain grew so quickly in evolutionary history. One theory suggests that cooking food played a major role. Cooking breaks down food and makes it easier for the body to absorb energy. This additional energy may have helped early humans support larger brains, which require a huge amount of fuel to function. Another theory suggests that social interaction drove brain development. Humans are highly social creatures. Living in complex groups requires memory, communication, empathy, and the ability to understand the intentions of others. Over time, these social pressures may have encouraged the growth of larger and more complex brains. But even with modern technology, scientists still do not fully agree on the exact reason. Genetics has also revealed another strange puzzle. When scientists analyze the DNA of modern humans, they sometimes find small genetic fragments that do not clearly match any known ancient human species. Some researchers believe these mysterious fragments may come from unknown human groups that have not yet been discovered in the fossil record. In other words, there may have been additional human species that lived and disappeared without leaving clear fossil evidence. The fossil record itself is incomplete. Fossils form only under very rare conditions, which means most ancient creatures leave no trace behind. Every time scientists discover new fossils or analyze ancient DNA with better technology, they uncover more pieces of the puzzle. Sometimes, those discoveries confirm existing theories. Other times, they completely challenge them. What we know today about human evolution is the result of decades of research, but it is still an unfinished story. Despite sharing ancestry with other species, humans eventually developed abilities that changed the entire planet. Language allowed humans to share ideas across generations. Cooperation allowed large groups to work together. Technology allowed humans to shape the environment in ways no other species ever had. Over thousands of years, these abilities helped humans build civilizations, create cultures, and expand across every continent on Earth. But evolution itself never truly stops. Even today, human populations continue to adapt to changing environments. Diet, climate, disease, and technology can all influence human biology over long periods of time. In other words, evolution is not just something that happened millions of years ago. It is a process that continues even now. The truth about human evolution is that it was never a simple, straight story. It was a complicated journey involving many different human species, unexpected interactions, and discoveries that continue to reshape what we think we know about our past. Somewhere in the world, buried deep beneath layers of earth and stone, there may still be fossils waiting to be discovered. Fossils that could change our understanding of human history once again. Shares the story of humanity is still being written. And with every new discovery, scientists come one step closer to understanding the incredible journey that led to the humans we see today.